I just recorded a video vlog in Russian, and I'm going to try to repeat it in English. Maybe I'll try to make it a little bit shorter. The vlog is about this time, this very strange time of pandemic, and how I have spent this time, because I've been asked repeatedly about it throughout pandemic, but until now I refuse to talk about it, simply because I think that this whole theme is can be so painful to so many people. I believe that when we talk about this time, it's important to choose words carefully, because it's such an incredible tragedy for so many people who lost their loved ones, who have suffered greatly themselves. And so this is why I'm always like amazed at how insensitive sometimes other people are, who would say, oh, you know, I just got over it, and it's just like a flu, and it's nothing, and it's nobody needs to, you know, why do we need to bother with masks? And come on, people, you're not alone. There are so many people for whom this time has been greatest tragedy. How can you be so insensitive? You can have your opinions, but why to add to the pain of the others for whom this time has been so terrible? So I think I also think this time is very different. I think this virus indicated two things. One is that how we are all humans. We are all susceptible to it, regardless where you live, and we also are not going to conquer it if other people have it in another country. This is something that needs to be approached globally. But it also unfortunately indicated how separated we are, and how different, because of circumstances, our experiences are, and how certain groups of people are much more vulnerable. So I think it's very important to be sensitive, to be aware, to see beyond what's right in front of you, and if anything, hopefully this whole experience can help us to be less selfish, less blind to others, much more compassionate and much more caring, and to realize this: we are all in this arc, in this boat together. As humanity, as a global family. So, I will, for the first time today, I will share with you my own experience, and simply as my experience. It's not, I'm not trying to to be example of anything. I'm just simply sharing what was in my life, what was happening in my life throughout this time, some of the choices that I've made so far, and hopefully it could be of interest or encouragement, or give something positive maybe to others. So for me, this whole time, right now we are in the middle of September 2021, and for me it started, this whole strange time of pandemic is actually, it started for me earlier than for most, because of the personal circumstances. I was in January 2020 in some unrelated X-ray. It was revealed that I had a tumor of the adrenal gland, which was completely unexpected. And but anyway, it resulted in me going to the Mayo Clinic and having surgery, the adrenaloctomy. and so which was already in February, middle of February. And maybe I will do another video if it's interesting for anyone about this surgery, because it's rare. It's also connected to the Cushing's disease, which I had, apparently, I didn't know about it for the last 15 years. But of course it ended with the surgery. I don't have it now, and I'm recovered. So maybe I will do another video about this. But one of the interesting side effects, I would say, of the surgery is that rehabilitation time takes about 2 years. Now you can fully function during those 2 years. You can play concerts, you can lead your normal life, but something that you have to be constantly aware and constantly examine is how you feel physically and how you feel emotionally, because adrenal gland is a gland that produces cortisol, and mine was producing tremendous amounts of cortisol. So when they cut the tumor off, I became all the way went to the other spectrum. So I was not producing enough cortisol, and without cortisol, body cannot function. So you have to take supplements and pills, and then you have to weigh them down, and you have to constantly examine how you feel, because cortisol is the hormone that is responsible for the stress. It's called stress hormone, fight syndrome, and you need it for all the body functions. It's one of the most essential hormones. So if for some reason your body doesn't produce enough, or you don't have enough cortisol, you can get into adrenal crisis and get into coma and die. So it's very, very dangerous. So for the process of rehabilitation after the surgery, for this couple of years, you have to really watch how you feel, because whether you are getting depressed, low, tired, and so on, stressed, and how you're reacting to all these stressors. So and in my case it coincided. So now I'm back from the Mayo Clinic end of February. In March the pandemic reaches the United States. Well, actually earlier, but it really starts being very present. All the concerts are canceled, and this process of rehabilitation and self-analysis was very, very strange for me, because I would receive this questionnaire from the Mayo Clinic, which dealt with, well, do you have trouble sleeping? Do you have worrisome thoughts? Do you feel low or depressed? Do you feel uncertain about your future? Do you feel tired? And so on. And I was thinking that every person during this time would answer yes, because of the pandemic. So it was as if the whole world was going through this process of that I was going through because of the surgery, and of course going through it during the pandemic made it much more difficult than otherwise it would, because I couldn't go to the doctors. I couldn't get blood tests done because I wasn't producing enough cortisol right away. It put me in this risk category. So and of course all the concerts were canceled, and there was all this stress, financial stress, because I don't have an employer. I'm self-employed. So if I don't play, if I don't perform, I can't make money. So so all of this was very stressful. But I decided I quickly realized that this is going to be a long process. Nothing will be quickly resolved. I'm continuing this vlog inside because we have somebody who is cleaning the pool outside. So Rather than waiting, I'm going to continue here. So in 2019, I had a tour with Hilary Hahn, a wonderful, wonderful violinist whom I'm sure many of you know. And our concerts were the last before Hilary was taking a sabbatical. And it's something that she was doing for the second time in her life. And I remember being totally amazed and having greatest respect to her that she was able to plan a sabbatical and to plan it in advance, because it's so difficult to do in music. And I was thinking to myself that I was really, really so overdue for a personal sabbatical, because in 2019, I was terribly overbooked. I was constantly ill. I felt terrible, but yet I had all those concerts, all those commissions, all those commitments, and I was doing them all. I was in residence in a bunch of cities at the same time. I had artist residencies with number of cities. I had very demanding commissions. I had basically I could only dream to have sabbatical. And I saw that it was really impossible for me to schedule it, because everything in music is planned so far in advance, for 5 years in advance. So if I commit to something, I stay with it. And I'm not a person who is going to just cancel because, well, I don't feel like doing it. Everything was planned far ahead, and I knew that there would be no way for me but to go forward with the schedule in front of me. And at the same time, I knew I was breaking. So when this pandemic happened and all my concerts got canceled, commissions got canceled, I decided that I'm not going to approach it with the attitude that, oh my goodness, one more wonderful thing is disappearing. I'm going to approach it with the attitude of sabbatical. So it's all part of the sabbatical. So I spent this the first year concentrating very strongly on literature, which is something that I really wanted to do. I worked on a number of manuscripts. A lot of them were books that I have sketched before, but then I didn't have time to fully finalize, to edit, to polish, and to go through the spirals of editing and polishing. So it's the best it can be. And I also wrote a lot of news. So it was one of the most creative times in my life. We decided to stay in complete quarantine because most of the family members are immunocompromised, including me at the time, because right after the surgery I was immunocompromised because I was not producing enough cortisol. And so it became this year I was literally writing 10-12 hours a day, and felt incredibly happy about it. So that's one side of the pandemic time for me. The other side was focusing on my health. So of course, after the surgery, for the first time in my life, I started really paying attention. But something that I have never done until actually past last summer, so just for the last 3 months, was to focus really on nutrition, to focus on what body needs to function and to be in its ultimate health. So I started a special program in last July, 2.5 months ago, and it's a nutrition program. And well, it's not a nutrition program; it's like a life program. But the first step is nutrition, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 14 kilograms so far, and I'm continuing on this program. I also started to move. Just recently, I started to walk at least 10,000 steps every day. I try, and so health became very big part of my concentration right now, and taking this time to regroup, to rethink, to relearn, to realize, and hopefully to achieve much more balanced existence than what I had before. And also, so right now I have been reintroducing music back into my life. Well, I never completely departed from it, but now I'm getting in shape, back into shape with piano. I started composing. But I'm doing it in the way that it doesn't hopefully disturb this balance. With literature is equally important to me as music, and it's something that I need to focus more than I need to focus on music, because music career in the last 10 years, I would say it kind of suffocated me. And I felt I was just living from concert to concert, from deadline to deadline, and I didn't have time for enough time. I was writing every day anyway, but I didn't have enough time for literature, which is equally important to me. And so I need to actually, between literature and music, to give more attention to literature now. So I'm bringing back music, but I hope it's not going to become that bully that bullies everyone else away. Anyway, and the last thing that pandemic meant to me was spending more time with my family. Well, that's the only the only year of my adult life when I would regularly see my parents. And learning to appreciate small things in life, learning, it's like an ability. I used to ignore everything that was not part of this, what comes next deadline, next publication, next performance. So it was very much like this. So now I'm learning to see and to appreciate small things in life, small joys of life, because ultimately that's what life is about, is learning how to live in the present moment, because it's all we have. We don't have future. We don't have really past. We have present, and past is contained within present. It's a collection of our memories. So if we are unable to make fully aware memories, it's like we are not fully living our lives. So anyway, that's been my experience. I do hope that it continues to be healthy time, and I wish all of you health and strength, and keeping your spirits up, because of course when there is so much insecurity and so much uncertainty and danger around, it's very easy to succumb to depression, and I can also be, sometimes I'm guilty of that too. But it's very important to be able to see and find those beautiful moments that surround us every single day, and to be grateful. Like one of the things that I learned a lot during this pandemic is how to be grateful. In fact, I don't think I've ever been so grateful in my life as I've been during this pandemic, because every night I say thanks just for being here and being alive, and that those whom I love are here and alive and healthy, and so every day is a gift. And of course everybody says it, but it is during these times of danger when we really feel it emotionally, and can say gratitude with true essence. And I think it's important, and it's important to remember it through good times and through bad times, that every moment is a gift. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments. I'm always very happy to hear from you. Until next time.